Kind of hard to believe we have this much NFL news in the middle of July, but a lot has been going on today. Welcome in, NFL fans, to NFL Daily by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. We got to talk about some stuff today because a lot has happened. Like I said, LA wide receiver Michael Williams has officially retired. Same with the second-round rookies signing their deal. So while one career ends, a bunch of other ones begin. And then, of course, People's Insider, Mr. Slick Rick, has a quick little update for us about the Trey Hendrickson contract dispute and maybe some more trade rumors involving that. Let's start with the first bit of news. Mike Williams retiring officially. And I got to give a shout out to my dad who drafted Mike Williams in fantasy like 5 years in a row, I'm pretty sure. He was one of his favorite fantasy football players that he had on his roster. But he had a really good career. Mike Williams was a very, very boom or bust wide receiver. There were some games where Williams had 7 receptions for 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then other times it was like Mike Williams had 1 reception for 8 yards and got targeted twice. So he had a very up and down career. But with all that being said, 330 yards, over 5,000 receiving yards, 32 touchdowns, and an average of 15.5 yards per reception. That's pretty good. A wildly talented player who just struggled to stay healthy is the best way that I think you could sum up his career. But that leads me to my next question for the San Diego Chargers, formerly known as the San Diego Chargers, that is, the Los Angeles Chargers. Is it time to re-sign Keenan Allen? Both of those guys were teammates. They know that system like the back of their hand. They know that city like the back of their hand. And Keenan Allen is still without a team. Last year with the Chicago Bears competing for looks with DJ Moore and, at the time, rookie wide receiver Rome Odunze, put up some pretty decent numbers here. 70 receptions, 744 yards, a little over 10 yards a pop, 7 touchdowns. He basically had a really decent career. He's had a great career, but a really decent season last year with Chicago. His drops did, unfortunately, go way up to, I think, 8 last season. But despite the drops and his old age and lack of speed, Keenan Allen should be a very, very productive wide receiver, 2, for any team that he signs with, unless it's the Los Angeles Chargers, and then he would most likely be like, well, actually, no, because Ladd McConkey's their number 1. So an easy wide receiver, 2. Now, what does the money come to, right? Because that's what it's going to come down to for Keenan Allen. It's the deal. It's the contract. Well, there's a lot of projections out there that say he's looking for a $9 to $10 million deal. Last year with Chicago, he made $18 million. There's no shot in hell he's going to get that kind of money. Now, I think he wants personally closer to 15, but he's most likely going to end up settling for about 9 or 10 on a 1-year deal. Here's the good news if you're a Chargers fan. All 10 of you. The Chargers have $27 million in available cap space. So they can go out and sign Keenan Allen to a 1, maybe even a 2-year deal if he wants to end out his career there. So that's the ultimate question right now for Chargers fans. Is it time to bring home Keenan Allen? And I'll ask you the same question. Should Keenan Allen re-sign with the Chargers? Yes or no? I'm going to say yeah, because it just kind of feels like the best fit for him. He did go out and say earlier on in free agency that he would not re-sign with any team other than the Chargers or the Bears. Well, the Bears didn't re-sign him. So you've got to make sure that something happens here if you're Mr. Keenan Allen and the Chargers within the next couple of weeks. Let's move on. The second-round rookies signing their deal. This has been a dilemma now in the NFL for the past couple of weeks. Actually, for the past couple of months. And we're going to talk about all the rookies that are now signing their deals. But first, before we do that, my friends, the NFL season is right around the corner. All this NFL news means that the Week 1 games are just about ready to commence. So if you haven't already geared up for your favorite team, at least for the 2025 season, make sure that you use the link that I've put in the second paragraph of today's video. Scroll on down, check out the second paragraph. You'll see a link there. Use it to go start shopping your favorite jerseys today. Again, link is in the comments and description of today's video, but specifically the second paragraph of the description. Let's move on. Here are the rookies that have signed. Mike Green, Ozzi Trapilo, Alfred Collins, Shemar Turner, RJ Harvey, and there are more and more trickling in as the day progresses. RJ Harvey was the most recent one of note. But here's what we know. This all started when Alfred Collins, last night at about 8:45 p.m., reached an agreement on his 4-year deal for $10 million with a $9 million guarantee, which is about 88%. Now, this guy named Justice Mosqueda, I think is how you pronounce his name, basically said that this is not good news for NFL franchises because it completely resets the guaranteed money market for second-round picks by moving up 30% from just 2024. Here's my take on this whole scenario. Because I've been asked a bunch of times if I feel like these players are greedy or what my thoughts on it are. I don't even want to really get into that. Here's what you need to know. The landscape of the NFL is shifting to more guaranteed money than we've ever seen before, especially since the NFL salary cap continues to go up. You are going to see NFL players consistently asking for guaranteed money. Deshaun Watson was the first one to get that almost, what did he get, fully guaranteed? It was a fully guaranteed contract. Then Lamar Jackson came out, and he wanted a huge number in guaranteed money. It's just the way the NFL is now working. So like it, don't like it, you just got to come to terms with the fact that a lot of these guys are going to be asking for guaranteed money, and some of them are going to get it. Now, the lower tier guys, like an RJ Harvey, who only got 47.7% of his contract fully guaranteed, aren't going to receive that much. But you can expect that guys like Carson Schlesinger and Jaden Higgins, who both got fully guaranteed deals at the top of the second round, that's going to be the kind of deal going forward. But I'll ask you, do you think the rookie should have fully guaranteed money? It's a simple yes or no question. I don't think so, but I also understand how the NFL has shifted, and it doesn't really hurt my feelings. It doesn't make me feel outraged by any means. It's just the way it is. Sports change all the time. Last bit of news here for NFL fans, and this is really our only major rumor here. The Trey Hendrickson contract update is getting another kind of news nugget from our people's insider, Mr. Slick Rick, who, if you haven't heard of this guy before, he kind of views himself as the guy that breaks news before it's broken. There's a lot of speculation to who this guy is. We've never actually really seen him, but here's what he said. That he heard that there's been real progress and positive momentum on a Trey Hendrickson deal. No timetable, but it's a step in the right direction as Bengals and Trey recently engaged in talks. Still feel good about getting a deal done. Now, you might be asking, well, who the hell is this guy? Well, he's been right a couple of times and he's been wrong a couple of times. Let's take a look at some of his rights and wrongs. This one said the Dolphins' big trade are trading away an all-pro player. Well, if we remember who this was, Jalen Ramsey. We kind of remember that happening, although this was in April 11th. And then the Steelers making a big move. This was also before Aaron Rodgers signed. So he's been right about a lot of stuff, and he's been wrong about a lot of stuff. Here's where he was absolutely correct. Take a look. Rick can confirm that Aaron Rodgers will be signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers before training camp, which absolutely happened. So we have seen a multitude of times where Slick Rick has broken the news. He's been wrong about stuff, and he has also been right about a lot of stuff. So do I trust his ability to get this correct? It's kind of like a 70%er. And if we take a look at the timeline that Trey Hendrickson has at least been on, it's been a tumultuous, kind of ride for Trey. And, he's allowed to seek a trade in March 6th, and then we're all the way up to June where he doesn't attend minicamp, and then Cincinnati is resuming contract talks, but then they're no longer, further along with their disagreement on the deal on the 18th, just 3 days later. Then he posts on IG, making this cryptic post where he was talking about God. And then the veterans now report on July 22nd. That is going to be the most telling, right? If he doesn't report, clearly things are bad, and there's most likely going to be a trade coming, at least in my opinion. And if you take a look at what he did last year, this dude is unbelievable. Number 1 in sacks in 2025. He's just insane. He's one of the best edge rushers in the entire NFL. So I'd pay Trey whatever he wants. It wouldn't even be close. If he wanted $40 million a year, I'd suck it up and find a way to do it. If that means you have to let some players go or trade some other assets to keep Trey Hendrickson, I absolutely would make the call. He is a top 3 edge. I think the top 3 in any order that you want to talk about would be Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Trey Hendrickson, with a special shout out to Max Crosby. Nick Bosa, very talented as well, but never healthy enough. Those 4 guys are the best in the NFL. But I still don't know that Trey Hendrickson's going to end up a Cincinnati Bengal. So I'm going to ask you this. Who's he going to play for in 2025? If you had to put my money on it, I think the Packers still have a really, really good shot of landing this guy. They have the available cap space to do so, and they're not notoriously cheap like the Bengals. So I'll stake my claim for the Packers, but let me know in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. If you haven't liked the video already, please do so. Subscribe to the channel, and as always, be cool.